The Rolex Hulk Submariner is without a doubt the most popular Rolex on the market today and has a stupidly high demand at the moment. But what if I told you you could get the same look with reasonable quality for only $250? You would think I'm bonkers. However, this alternative proves my point right. But firstly, I will talk about the specifications of the Rolex Hulk and why it is also a problematic piece. This watch has very similar specifications to the new 2020 Rolex Submariner. However, there are still some distinctions from the base model. The 40mm oyster steel case is proportioned to perfection, as it doesn't look too big and flashy, and it fits on the wrist nicely. Speaking of the case, it is 13mm, which is fairly slim and slender for a mechanical dive watch. It also has a 20mm lug width, which means the bracelet doesn't look too chunky and it tapers nicely with the case. Next to the lugs is the crown, which is covered in an ultra high polished oyster steel, and it is a screw down trip lock winding crown. This allows the Hulk to have an impressive 300 meters of water resistance, which is great for any water activities. Additionally, the screw down case back helps Rolex achieve its 300 meters of water resistance. Now, inside the case is a signature Rolex movement, which is the 3135 caliber. This is a self-winding movement that boasts a good 48 hours of power reserve and a precision accuracy of only plus minus 2 seconds per day. This allows Rolex to achieve its superlative chronometer certificate. Now, the main talking point about this piece is obviously its gorgeous green dial that it has. A green sunburst dial makes this piece shine out from the others. It is also coated with a long-lasting blue luminescence, which is very legible in the dark. This piece has the classic Submariner unidirectional rotating 60-minute bezel, but the Hulk has a ceramic bezel with the numerals being coated in platinum. On top of the dial is a scratch-resistant sapphire crystal, which is definitely expected at this price point, and it will do the job well. The problem with the Hulk Submariner is that it almost is triple the price of a standard 2020 Rolex Submariner. So for an extra 15 to 20 grand, you are basically paying for hype and demand due to its green dial. But for most of those who like the Hulk, they buy it mainly for the colour. This is why, for $250, a very similar piece can achieve the same look whilst having decent quality as well. This is the Seiko 5 SRPD61, and it is from their new line of Seiko 5 sports divers. The specs of this piece are impressive for the price, as it sports a 42.5mm stainless steel case. This is fairly big compared to the Hulk, but it still isn't too large. It does share a very similar case thickness, as the 13.4mm thick case means it will pretty much sit the same as the Hulk does on your wrist. The lug widths are 2mm wider, being 22mm, but they still look well proportioned with the case. What this watch does better than the Rolex is that it has a cool see-through case back, so you can see the movement beating away. Speaking of which, this piece houses an in-house Seiko 24 dual automatic movement, which will do the job well. The Rolex does trump over the Seiko in regards to water resistance, as this piece only has 100 meters, which is still fine for everyday life and swimming, but it's still not a real dive watch. Additionally, the Seiko only has a Rolex crystal, which is not as good as sapphire, yet still does a reasonable job. On most affordable stainless steel dive watches, the bracelet is usually of poor quality. However, with this piece, the bracelet is of decent quality and feels sturdy and smooth. I would know from experience, as I own the earlier model Seiko 5 Diver, which has a good quality stainless steel bracelet, and it also has hardly any scratches after 3 years of use. Click the video on the screen now to see my review of the earlier Seiko 5 Diver. The main appeal to this piece, however, is that it comes with 2 different green dials. It has the more sunburst and lighter green, that is the SRPD61, which is more close to the Hulk's colour. Or you can also get the SRPD63, which uses a more forest green dial with brown accents, which this looks classy too. Overall, the Rolex Hulk Submariner does win over the Seiko 5 in most categories, but the Seiko is 100% the better buy, as for only $250 you get the same look that the Rolex Hulk has. Click the video on the screen right now to see my review on the brand new 2020 Rolex Submariner. Also, click the other video on the screen now to see more watch related content. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe. See you later.